Original post, February 8, 2024. So this is a long story. I'll do my best to keep to a few paragraphs. My brother got home from his mission in August and in classic LDS fashion began to search for a wife. He was using Mutual and trying to talk to anyone in the world that would match with him. My 17-year-old sister still in high school saw that, and as soon as she turned 18 in November downloaded Mutual to look for guys to wed. She met this guy who is 22 in upstate New York on Mutual and they have been talking for a few months virtually, never in person yet. She comes to the family and says that she wants to get married to him because she knows he is the one, and wants to do it as soon as possible regardless of what anyone thinks. My mom, trying to at least give them some FaceTime, said he could come stay with them for a few weeks to allow them to be face-to-face before the marriage. My parents initially were as concerned as I was, but have since prayed about the situation, and have been brought peace about it. So now she is getting married in March, before graduating, to a man she has never met in real life, and plans to live with my parents through college. I don't want to ruin the familial relationship by not supporting her, mainly because I know they will do it with or without me, but I think this is one of the craziest things she could do. Why does the church push marriage so fast? Why does her bishop and stake president fully support her getting married to a man she's never met while still in high school? Am I overreacting? TLDR, sister met a guy on Mutual and despite not yet meeting him in real life, is getting married to him before graduating high school. Relevant comments. Comment 1. How does she even know if this person is legit? I'd be very concerned as he sounds like a predator. Way too many red flags here. What will your parents do when she gets abused or worse? At least get her on birth control. Express love to her and tell her that if anything bad happens or she is tired of the marriage that you'll always be there to help. OP, she doesn't. That's the thing. He could be faking it till they're alone. Their original thought was to let them live there so they can be close and not with his family in New York. That way if there was abuse, they could step in. But now they are on board and think it's a great thing. Comment 2, maybe you could offer to take her to get birth control. She'll need to be on it a month before it's effective. Then do her a real solid by suggesting she get a degree before multiplying and replenishing the earth. OP, they're working on it. She is in the process of getting her EMT license, so she knows she needs to be on birth control. But I had my kid when my partner was on birth control. Update 1, April 25, 2024. I posted this over 2 months ago and well now they are getting divorced. Even though he said he believed in doing his fair share when it came to cooking and cleaning, he did a 180 after the ceiling. He then shared with her his view on how women should cook, clean, and always be sexually available to their spouses. He was also pushing her to get pregnant before finishing school. He sexually abused my sister as well, but I won't go into as much detail on that. When my parents found out they kicked him out, because again they were living in the basement while she finished high school. Then my sister told my family everything and my parents finally pushed her to separate from him. They acted like they were against the marriage the whole time, and never supported it. The gaslighting came easy. My sister got a marriage with her parents, bishop, and stake president's support. And then filed for divorce not more than 90 days later. All during her last semester in high school. All I can say is that I'm glad she figured it out early enough and not years in with multiple children. All of this could have been avoided if she just had a little premarital sex. Relevant comments. Comment 1, that's so sad. I hope she can get the marriage annulled and her ceiling completely wiped from existence. OP, she needs first presidency approval to get the ceiling removed. So God forbid she dies tomorrow, he would still have to pull her through the veil. Story 2, am I the asshole because I told my husband to stop supporting his adult daughter? Original post. April 23, 2024. I 47 female, am very frustrated about this and thinking long and hard, and want to know if my feelings are valid. My husband 54 male, keeps supporting his daughter 27 female, who's a single mom. Currently, the daughter lives with her mom and is asking him for help non-stop. Might it be simple or not? I stopped working for a while due to a very bad accident and am living off pension. My husband earns enough to support us but not to the extreme where he'll have too much disposable income. Just 6 months ago, his daughter asked for money for dental implants. I happily told my husband to be as generous as he can be since it's not always the case and she rarely asks for money. After that first time, she kept asking for more. One time it was grocery, next it's daycare bills, then phone bills. Just a week ago she asked him to pay some of her bills because she doesn't have a job now. It's becoming a habit and I think she's too old to be asking him for support and this needs to stop. I told my husband how frustrated I am, And he was even more upset and disappointed because I'm being unreasonable, he said. Now as of writing, he's giving her $700 weekly and I just found out yesterday that we are behind rent. I told him how I see him as a really good father, but I don't think it's right, especially when we can barely pay housing, and he just shut me off. It's been 3 days since we stopped talking. Am I the asshole? Edit, I still pay half of our bills as of today. I lost a leg, that's why I'm jobless now and still in therapy, but I'm still looking for remote jobs every day. It's not like I want all of my husband's money. 1 in 12 years, I was the one paying for most of our bills. Relevant comments. Comment 1. Not the asshole. $700 weekly is insane. She is living at her mom's house and still needs that much weekly? Why does she have daycare bills if she isn't working? This is insane. I would honestly have a talk with your husband about this. I know it can be scary, especially when you rely on his income, but this is not okay. You guys are married and need to agree on money spending like this. He is a fool for wasting his money on his daughter like that. She's old enough to figure herself out. I understand helping here and there, but $700 a week is absurd. OP, this is what we talked about before. We paid for daycare, but she only tried to work for a week and stopped because she said she can't bear not to be with her kid 24/7. The following week, she still asked us for help for the daycare bill, and that's when I told my husband no. If she wants to be with the kid 24/7, why leave her at a daycare? Then my husband asked would it be okay if we continued helping until she gets back on her own. I was okay with it because my understanding was $700 a month. I don't want us to fight over his kids and money, so when I learned it's a weekly thing I didn't mind as long as our bills are paid, and I thought it's going to be temporary and maybe she's trying. 6 months and an accident later, it's still the same. Comment 2, does he see the bills or is he just blindly trusting her? $2,800 per month is reaching drug, MLM, her boyfriend is in prison. Levels of expensive. OP, he is just sending it through Venmo each time and never asked. I will still be okay with it if our bills are being taken care of. If I didn't see the notice that we are behind rent, I probably would never have confronted him. Comment 3, how can you be okay with this? OP, I love her and her kid. We would occasionally fly them out every time. I treat her as my own too, but it's just becoming out of hand, and we can't foot the bill anymore, but my husband thinks he still can, and I don't know if we will still be able to survive in the coming weeks. Comment 3, this is none of my business, but is there a chance you will be able to begin working again in the future? If so, maybe you could position it as him needing to worry about your own finances now, and then once there are 2 incomes coming in again, he will be able to help her again when you guys are on a sturdier financial footing. OP, I'm looking for remote jobs now. I'm still in therapy, but it won't hinder the job since I can sit up straight now and type. I have some personal savings that I will use to pay for our rent. I'm okay when she first asked because she rarely did, but now we're not in a good situation and it needs to end. I would understand the phone bills if it's from a 14-year-old daughter, but she is 27. I'm disabled and pay for my own phone. My husband wouldn't even bother paying mine. Update 1, April 25, 2024, 2 days later. Hello everyone. I've shown this to my husband to open up his mind a little and he apologized. He said he needed time to think for days and came up with a solution. He's cutting his daughter off. She just called to remind him about the weekly allowance, and when he said we can't afford it right now, she just started crying hysterically and told us how selfish we are. All this while knowing how we are now behind rent. To those asking, yes, she knows about the accident. She even knows now we are behind rent, but still blames us as to why she won't be getting support anymore. My husband used to say I have the patience of a saint, and I just cracked now because it's too much. We need to care for our own son too, but since he's still being supportive, and everything is being taken care of in regards of our kid, I didn't feel the need to include him in the equation. He's a good dad and that will never change. I messaged his ex to find out how much she's charging her for rent so we could do half. She was surprised because she's not charging her anything and is frustrated because all she does is party every weekend. Apparently, it's not dental implants he paid for, it's veneers and just cosmetic. Thank you Reddit. My husband and I are going to counseling, but he apologized and that's a big step. Relevant comments. Comment 1, so she's not paying rent, needs hundreds of dollars on a consistent basis, parties all the time, and recently needed veneers. Could she be on drugs? OP, we honestly don't know, but could be, and we hope not. She was living a luxurious lifestyle and was buying things non-stop. Her mom questioned her at one point, and she said it was gifted. When my husband told her about our situation and how we couldn't afford the $700 weekly as we were behind rent, all she ever asked was how many days will it be delayed this time. And right there and then he told her there won't be any help from our side anymore. She just hysterically cried. I feel sorry for her, and we still love her, but if my husband won't stop, it will just get worse. All the help we gave her, we weren't expecting anything back, but I just felt sorry for my husband who did all that and not even a single thank you, but rather screw you for not wiring me money anymore. She became completely dependent and didn't try working again because she's getting a full salary worth and it's somehow a mistake from our end. Comment 2, you feel sorry for her? For what? For no longer exploiting your husband so he is behind on your rent. Screw her. She's a selfish grifter with messed up priorities, especially for a single mom. OP, at the end of the day she's still our daughter, but we all need to move on from this and she needs to be responsible of her own life now, and the only thing we could do now is to cut her off. Comment 3, seriously, as her family you guys need to be at least prepared that this is a drug thing. It definitely could just be regular entitled behavior and addiction doesn't in any way excuse her behavior. But if she's desperate and she's been cut off, especially with access to a child? Eyes up. Some bells can't be unrung. OP, our only source of info now is the ex-wife. She's been updating us and anything suspicious she said she'll tell. We're willing to put her in rehab if that's the case. She found a circle that isn't really good for her and the only thing she'd been addicted to lately is Instagram as per mom. Comment 4, how was her relationship with you before? Many kids want very little to do with the step-parent after seeing their parents split. Did she get along with you or see you as someone who always ruins things for her? I'm wondering if this is a new type of behavior from her or just more of the same. OP, we are very close, I treated her as my own. In our 12 years of marriage, we never failed to fly her and our grandchild here to us every year. She never saw me as someone who ruined things for her. I met her dad 3 years after he divorced her mom, so there was never animosity amongst us. Her mom remarried first before my husband, and she has 2 half-siblings from her. We all got along really well. Comment 5, yikes. You guys, the parental figures, are definitely going to need to increase your direct communications in the future to make sure she's not playing you all or playing you against each other until she becomes independent. OP, we actually didn't feel the need to consult my husband's ex-wife about my SD's situation since she's an adult who we thought was in dire need of support. We believe this was something she really needed to be able to grow, but we were wrong. We even paid for her college for 2 years, that's why when it lasted this long and she's still jobless it really made me frustrated. I'm just glad my husband sees it through my eyes now. It took me a while to understand what was happening, and if not for you guys who helped he would have never. Comment 6, partying doesn't usually cost that much a month. I just talked to the ex and she's quite shocked as well. She said she takes care of our grandkid full time, and our stepdaughter kept on purchasing expensive stuff and she was wondering where the money is coming from, and she kept saying those were gifts. She didn't even know we are supporting her. She never tried getting a job, and it's partly my husband's fault since he was providing her more, but not anymore. In 6 months, she only tried once and only for a week. My husband was frustrated because he said she never even asked him once how's he doing, but every time, she calls it's all about wiring money and she gets irritated if it's a day late. This is some info my husband would never tell me before, but I can tell he's over the situation now and is unloading his emotional baggage. How in the world do you give someone $700 a week, and not wonder where it's going? I don't understand how OP's husband was doing that for so long, and still took his daughter's side. Also, how does someone make it to 27 and not have had a job? Like, how long has her dad been funding everything for? Anyway, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.